guys, here we are with an episode of What's Happening 613, and we're out in beautiful Sterling at Saggers Corners, and we're here with Deborah O'Connor. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you so much for having me. This is really awesome.
Thank you for having me to your property here.
Yeah.
So this is really nice. Paul said you guys got married here, eh?
Yeah, we did.
This is awesome.
I'm blessed to have this in our family. This is my dad's land here. So I was born and raised just across the road, and he's kind of built this little oasis, and we got married here 7 years ago.
That's awesome.
6 years ago. We have beer koozies to remind us of the date.
I put mine right there.
See? Exactly.
And mine's on Thursday.
Oh, perfect. Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. But anyways, go ahead and I want you to introduce yourself a little bit and what kind of music you're into and what you're playing here.
Okay, for sure. So I've been kind of singing my whole life. I started singing when I was 4 years old. I think my first appearance was at the Sterling Festival of Sacred Praise, which my mom would enter me in every single year. So I started off doing that at 4 years old. So I did like the church choir singing and all that kind of stuff. And then when I was 15, my dad bought me a guitar and said, I think you should kind of foster your music and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I taught myself how to play. And then just started doing my own kind of, my own music, and influenced by Jewel and Indigo Girls and that kind of stuff growing up. And then more recently, I put music aside for a long time. I kind of fast forward to my mid-20s, and I was living in Toronto. I owned a candy store for 14 years in Toronto, downtown.
Cool.
Yeah. So I kind of put music aside, and then when Paul and I got together, he overheard me singing once, and he said, "What are you doing? Why are you not doing this?" And I'm like, I just kind of, it was just for fun or whatever. And he kind of encouraged me to get back into it, and then started kind of pushing me a little bit more to start writing again, because I started writing when I was about 16 years old and did that for a few years, and then kind of just, like I said, put it away. So just in the last few years, I've been getting back into it.
That's awesome. Yeah, you're writing some really great songs.
Thanks.
And you said that your first little single there went.
Yeah, we went number 1 on the Canadian Indie Country Countdown.
That's so cool.
Which was, it's pretty awesome. It was,
that's amazing.
A pretty cool thing for sure. And it actually just got nominated for a Josie Award, which is the Josie Awards are the largest international independent award show in the world.
In the world, yeah.
Yeah. So we just found out a couple of weeks ago that Revive a Ghost was nominated for Country Female Song of the Year.
Wow.
So we're kind of crossing our fingers that the borders open and we can head down to Pigeon Forge, because the award show is in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee in September. So
that's really
that would be pretty cool. I mean, I think the chances are quite slim, but it would be pretty cool to walk that red carpet and have that whole little experience.
Exactly.
Right?
It's all every life experience is just, you could write a song about it later,
Absolutely.
right? You know what
Exactly.
I mean? Like everything is material,
That's
right?
right. Exactly.
That's cool.
Absolutely.
And like what you were saying about your husband there, Paul, like good for him for pushing. Like I was the same way with my daughter. She sang and sang and sang, and I was like, or I guess your dad gave you your first guitar, but like he pushed it to get going again. But like with my daughter, I was like, you can sing, but like this will take you. Like you can go anywhere with it and sit down and captivate everybody.
That's right.
And you got an amazing voice and a great tone, and that's great.
Yeah, no,
it's
that's
cool.
Awesome.
And you're lucky to have an awesome team behind you too.
Yes.
Eh?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, absolutely. I'm so grateful for him and my daughter Octavia. She's my number one fan. They're my number one fans, and they're so supportive. I mean, they listen to me sing like almost every single day, right? And the same songs, and they don't get sick of it, or at least they don't let on like they get sick of it. And Paul, yes, he's like we were saying before we started this, is that he kind of enters me into things that I don't know about, and he just kind of pushes me, which is what I need, because as much as I love to perform, I'm really, really shy. So it's really hard for me to kind of take that next step and put myself out there. And I've been hurt. I mean, we've all been hurt. But I had a pretty crappy first marriage, and so I'm a little bit dented from that still. So I'm afraid to put myself out there. And Paul pushes me and he pads me from anything that's, might hurt me.
That's awesome.
Which is awesome, yeah.
Well, a king has to raise his queen up, and he's doing a great job.
Aw.
That's so cool. He's like you said, he's like your manager. Like he's entering in all these little things, and this is how I got into this, because we found each other on Facebook, and I was like, hey,
Yes.
So it's like, before I even talked to you about it, I was like 6 conversations deep into with him. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
That's so cool.
It's awesome. I think people kind of know him as my hubby manager.
Your manager, that's
exactly.
right.
Yeah.
That's
So
right.
it's
The muscle
perfect,
behind
because those kind of conversations scare me to begin with.
Yeah.
So he eases all of that,
Yep.
and then I have to show up and do the tough work, right? But,
That's right.
Yeah.
I know, and it's so hard to get up there, especially because I noticed I think my first time seeing you, I went to a brunch at the Bistro 116, and
Yes.
you were playing, and I just, the entire time, I couldn't help but just be there the entire time, and it's so great. And like with every step too, it's just so hard to take a no or whatever but it's nice to have that little push.
Exactly.
It's really cool.
Absolutely.
So you said when you were started out, you were like really into like Jewel and stuff like that.
Yes, so she was my biggest influence. Her songwriting and the emotion that she puts into it. It was just, and I think she had really deep lyrics. I think deeper lyrics than what I could really understand at that time. Mm-hmm. Now I appreciate them, and I've read one of her books that kind of dive into that. But just the emotion that she put into it, I just was so connected to it. So I listened to a lot of Jewel and Indigo Girls and Sarah McLachlan. They were like my 3 biggest kind of influences back then, and that's kind of what really drew me into wanting to learn how to play guitar. And
it's like that acoustic songwriter feel,
exactly.
Right?
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. Took your coat off, stood in the rain. You're always crazy like that. And I watched from my window. I always felt I was outside, looking in on you. You were always the mysterious one with dark eyes and careless hair. You were fashionably sensitive, too cool to care. Then you stood in my doorway without nothing to say, besides some comment on the weather. In case you failed to notice, in case you failed to see, this is my heart bleeding before you. This is me down on my knees. And these foolish games are tearing me apart. And your thoughtless words are breaking my heart. You're breaking my heart. You're always brilliant in the morning, smoking your cigarette and talking over coffee. Your philosophy in life Baroque moved you. You love Mozart and you speak of your loved ones as I clumsily strum my guitar. Well, excuse me, think I'm mistaken you for somebody else, somebody who gave a damn, somebody more like myself. And these foolish games are tearing me apart. And your thoughtless You're always crazy like that. Exactly.
It's so cool. Are you do you have like plans in the future to play with the band or in that, or you just want to be the?
No, I would love to. I would love to kind of drop my guitar, or even just not have to play it
as much,
yeah, exactly. And focus on getting into, because that's the one thing I find difficult, is that, you know, to get the emotion in a song, and when you're doing everything, it's hard, right?
Yeah.
So yes, I would love to do that. It goes back to me being painstakingly shy. And this is something that Paul has been kind of pushing me to do, is to find kind of bandmates or people that I can kind of jam with and kind of get a little bit more comfortable with it, because yeah, it would be awesome to just not have to do everything.
That's a whole nother thing too, is when you have like you know what you're doing, you know, like, or whatever, but when you have like 5 people around you, it's almost like you gotta feel the energy in the room. So it's a whole different thing. Like, it really is.
Yeah.
Like me, when I get up on stage by myself, I get this humongous frog in my throat. But then when I have guys beside me, I don't know if I can just like lean on them a little bit if I need to. So
see, and I feel that I would be opposite. I'd be like, oh, I'm afraid I'm going to let all these guys down. Or if it's just me and I mess up, then oh well, I'm not disappointing anybody but myself.
Yeah, and that's one thing my brother said about being in our band, is we have such good players. Like I started this Tuesday night tune thing, and I started doing like a jam circle. And I started inviting all the musicians I knew. Every Tuesday night we drink some beers and play some music. Yeah. And at the end of the summer, I made a band. I was like, so hey, cool. you, right?
Hand select those. That's right. Perfect. That's actually genius idea.
Yeah, so it was kind of selfish of me, but it was fun. That's how I made the Sterling Jaybirds. But my brother, he lives up in Port Credit, Kitchener area, whatever it is, and so we're all down here and we all practice lots together. And whenever he comes down, he's like, man, I'm so intimidated because these guys are so good, but he's like, but it makes me try so much harder and play so much harder, and he's like stuff that comes out of me because don't want to let them down.
That's right.
So it'd be kind of cool what comes out of you sometimes, because you're also feeding off each other's energy. It's really neat. Yeah, no, exactly. That's really cool. That's on my goal list. Yeah. Well, I can see it. I could definitely see it. And like with the music you're doing too, it's such a powerful thing too, to have a band behind you and you be able just to, like you said, drop your guitar down a little bit and get into the emotion. Yeah, exactly. Because you just can't do it, or I can't do it all, right? Well, you're doing pretty good. I love it. We just need everything to kind of all this COVID stuff to go away, and then we can get into meeting up with people and I feel you stuff, I feel right? Well, this is why I kind of was doing this, because I'm being selfish again, but here I am meeting all the best musicians around the area and talking to them, because I'm learning every time I come out and I get inspired by everybody, you know what I mean? So this is a really cool thing I'm doing, and trying to bring the community together this way. It's amazing. It's I know that I'm sure I speak for all of the artists and businesses that you cover, that it's so appreciated, especially right now, right? Like, we really need to kind of be there for each other and really showcase everybody, right? Because we literally are all in this together, and we just need to kind of definitely. So with COVID, obviously pretty much all your show has been just like the rest of us, pretty much canceled, right? Have you been able to sneak in shows when things are kind of clearing up a little bit? Yeah, it's funny. Yes, exactly. So when the first lockdown kind of lifted, I think I did 2 or 3 shows at Cheers and a couple shows at Carlo Estates and Signal Brewery. I did a couple, one on their patio, which was just incredible. Oh my gosh. And then a couple inside, some Sunday brunch kind of things. So I was able to kind of cram in a few things when the restrictions lifted, and then I had quite a few things planned, as everybody else did, for this summer, that that one's no longer and that one's no longer, but I've got a few things coming up that hopefully will still be a go. Yeah, maybe September 1st. I think we just got the word last night. We're both playing in Frankfurt, the tourist park. So maybe you guys, if everything clears up by then. But September 1st, that will be opening, and then we'll have the Sterling Jaybirds down there to close out the night. And the night, the nice thing I like about this singer-songwriter thing you're doing too, my thing is almost a niche. You can only take it to certain places. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I can't go do a Sunday brunch.
Right. Yes, exactly. Yeah, with how many pieces that you've got.
Well, no, that is, it's high
and,
pace.
And high pace. You're right. Exactly. Yes, that's true too.
Yeah, like I love, like, I
Yeah.
wish I could, like, and I say it, everybody's heard me say it on this thing, I wish I could sing, because when I sing, I get this hillbilly voice cracking, and we play
Cool
hard,
vibe.
and it's fun, but like you could sing without a guitar and people will sit down and watch you, you know what I mean? That's amazing that way, so kudos on that. You said you're working with like a vocal coach and stuff like that too, eh? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I went to the CMAO conference a couple of years ago, and it was a great place to network and meet people. And I had met a wonderful vocal coach named Mika Barnes. He's a former member of the Nylons, and I met him there, and then kind of reached out to him a little bit later, and we've been working together for about a year now. And he's got a studio in Toronto, and that's where I used to go, and now we do Zoom. It's crazy how many things you can actually do online. But I've been working with him, and it's just awesome, the tips that he is able to kind of like teach me, and just, you know, with the breathing exercises and all that kind of stuff. So that's been awesome. Really, really cool experience.
I'm really big on watching documentaries on people, because this is why I'm doing this, because I love watching or knowing or finding out how people do stuff. So whenever I watch a documentary, I always watch people do vocal warm-ups before a show and stuff. And like me, I just go out there and just give her, like, right? But like, it's obviously there's an act to it. You know what I mean?
It's crazy, and it's funny because I actually just sent him an email last week, because my last live show that I did, I've been finding, so I haven't dealt with allergies in years and years, but this year it's brutal. And so I was doing my live show, and I just got this tickle in my throat, and I'm all right. So I was using some of his techniques to kind of sing up and over and all that kind of stuff. But every time I talked, like, I would start to feel like I was going to cough or whatever. So Paul had actually ran upstairs and made me that little elixir we were talking about before, which is like egg white and honey and lemon juice. And so he snuck that to me in between one of my songs. And I wrote Mika the next day, and I'm like, you have no idea. Those two little tricks that you taught me got me through, you know, a good hour. Because the very first couple of songs, I thought, how am I going to do a whole hour of this and not, like, you know, cough all the way through it, or, you know, crack my voice, whatever. So that's, I mean, yeah, it's been pretty cool to kind of use those, you know, exercise. Exactly. You know, like, and the warm up. Like, I didn't do the warm up. You're right. I never used to. Yeah. And it's incredible the difference it makes. If you just spend 20 minutes kind of doing those exercises, it just loosens everything up, and it's, My one friend does like blah, 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 like, just like, it's all lips and like throat and lips. I'm watching him going like, really, dude? But I'm like, this guy can sing. I'm like, maybe I should blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? You feel ridiculous. Like, the first time that I was doing the exercises, I was like, I giggled through it. I'm like, I can't do this. This is awkward, and this is, you know.
Like your first time doing yoga. Right?
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
But yoga works, and warming up the thing. Yeah. So to all you musicians out there who just heard what she was saying with this little elixir or whatever she called it, we talked about it before. All us singers, the day of a show, we wake up and think we're sick.
Yep.
So my friend Rob Cook was known for every time we would go to a show, he's like, oh man. But he'd make it through the show, and I do the same thing. And like we were saying, we think it's a bit of a stress thing, and it's all in your head. Everything's all in your head.
100%. Yeah, it is. Yeah, you just have to kind of power through it, and which is easier said than done. Yeah, for sure. But it's kind of nice to know that everybody goes through it. Yeah, right?
That's what I'm trying to say. Yes. Yeah, it's cool, because I kind of felt better when you said it to me. I was like, okay, good. I'm not the only one. Exactly. That's cool. So, all right, guys, here's a little what's happening business break. I'm here with Riley. We're down at the Madoc Skate Park. I just found out with the Madoc Skate Park, they have a big play structure here. They have a splash pad. They have an amazing skate park behind us here. Riley here, I met through a mutual friend, Brady, and he's doing skateboard lessons, right?
Yeah, I've been doing them for a few years now.
That's really cool. So how'd you get into this? You obviously got into skateboarding when you were younger, and just...
yeah, I've skated pretty much my whole life since like grade 8. And in college, actually, it was, I took fitness and health promotion at Loyalist. And through that, they taught us how to, like, you know, coach kids and design all kinds of programs like that. And it wasn't until I seen on Facebook there was somebody looking for an instructor. And so when that happened, I put her together.
It sparked a little thing.
Yeah,
well, it's great because right now with COVID and stuff, like there's nothing better than get outside, right, with everybody, and
yeah,
it's great.
So I had the plans kind of from college when I did the project in school, and just went through with it.
Very cool, very cool. So you're able to do hour lessons for $30, is that correct? Is that what you're up to here?
I've been so far just been doing private lessons, and I want to also start like a class, maybe do like a group where it's just like $10 a week every week, and
just show up.
10 kids or so come up every week for like 8 weeks or something like that. I've been looking into that too, but
that's really cool.
So far it's just $30 an hour for
very cool lessons. So where can people get a hold of you? Just on your cell phone and Facebook and stuff like that?
My cell phone, 613-848-5590. Facebook's good too.
Cool.
There.
Right on. Well, I'll put all that stuff on the bottom here. And also, so back in the day, I know BSC was like the skate shop. There isn't really much for skate shops around here. So I also see that you've been kind of taking over that too, eh?
Yeah, he moved to Kingston, and I think there was another shop moved to Kingston, and West 49 disappeared. So I thought maybe there is a bit of a market for it, just not enough for a storefront.
Yeah.
And then I go to the parks enough if I'm going to use them anyways, and I ordered a bunch extra offline. So I got a bunch of extra decks for sale.
So yeah, so you got decks, trucks, you got all the wheels, all the tape, everything you need. So
grip tape or bushings even.
That's really cool. So if anybody's looking for a skateboarder and that kind of stuff, you can also get a hold of him and he'll set you right up. Yep. So like I said, I just like to promote local people doing awesome things, and you're doing amazing things. We have my daughter Emra, who's done her second lesson today, and you're like, I just see so much improvement. And it's just confidence of somebody.
Really good.
Yeah, somebody who knows what they're doing with a little bit of confidence helps out a lot, right? Mm-hmm. So that's really cool. So I'm going to put all this stuff up on the bottom here, and that's what's happening tonight with Riley. Watching it quite a bit on Facebook. You've been doing lots of streaming throughout this COVID.
Yeah.
How did that all start?
So last year, about March, I think it was St. Patrick's Day. Paul and I were watching an instant rivalry.
Yep.
They did their first live stream that night, because I think it was just like, that was shortly after everything kind of shut down, and St. Patrick's Day was that first kind of thing, that first holiday that nobody got to do anything.
You're not allowed to go out.
Exactly. So we had watched that, and Paul looks at me and he's like, we can do this.
That's it.
And I'm like, oh, I don't know. I could sing and play guitar, but I can't do any. He's like, I got that covered. So we started, I think it was the very next week, we did one. And we did we did weekly up until restrictions lifted into the summer. And then we did like kind of bi-weekly. Mm-hmm. And we've been doing them for over a year now. And we're at over 100,000 views on these shows. It's so crazy. Cool. It's just, it's awesome. And it's just been amazing that to know how many people appreciate.
That's what I was going to say. We all kind of need it.
Exactly.
Because it's been so long now that we almost forget what it feels like to actually, that we need to go out every once in a while.
Yeah.
And just hear somebody or get inspired by somebody. So I've been watching so many people do these live streams, and I'm so appreciative of it. Like, I really am, because you can just put it on and walk away from it, have it playing on your iPad or whatever, and it's just...
Yeah, you can bring it wherever. Like, we have people that they would go out in their boat and bring it in their boat with them, or their backyard, or just if they're cooking, whatever, right? And I think because it's live and because we're interactive,
a little bit of human interaction.
People feel like they're actually out, or they're actually talking to people.
They can comment on it, and you'd be like, "Oh, yeah, thank you."
Exactly. Yeah. So how we have it set up, because I know a lot of artists kind of set it up and they do their own, which is awesome. I'm fortunate enough that Paul, he'll like answer everybody, and then he'll tell me what's going on, so I can talk to the people at the same time. And it's been a really great way to stay connected. And it's funny because I've met people through these live shows that exactly case in point, exactly, and had so many opportunities. This exact right here. I was booked for a gig last September in Burlington because somebody found me on my live stream, loved what I did, reached out to their local bar, like where they hang out, and said, "Hey, I think that you should book her." They reached out to me and said, "What do you think about coming to Burlington for?" Like, okay, that's great. So I've had so many amazing opportunities come through this, I think that because I had my first single came out last April. So we had recorded it in January, before any of this really happened, right? So it was such a bummer to have your very first single and not be able to actually go to a place
release it. I know.
Exactly. So we made the best of it, and we had a single release party virtually. I raised money. We raised money and food donations for all of the local food banks, which was pretty cool. But it was one of those things that, like, you know, it didn't go as how we wanted it to, but you just have to make the best of it. And it was pretty incredible kind of what has all happened since then, right? So it's been some pretty neat, like a learning curve, and just you just kind of got to go with the flow.
That's what I'm finding with everybody right now. Like my friend Jack, he literally has an album ready to go, but he doesn't want to let any of it out yet because he's like, I don't want it to be missed. I know. Like, how do you release in this COVID time? Because usually you'd put out an album, you do like a natural little tour with it. Yeah. And you can't right now. So it's like you put it online, but then, so I think that actually like what you're doing right now with your singles is a really good idea, because that's what I'm finding is getting the most play. Like, put out one song instead of putting out 6 songs, put out one song at a time. Let it breathe. Yes. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or else the rest of it drowns in it. That's right. So I put out 5 or 6 songs, and like when you go look at the streams or the plays or whatever, the downloads, it's like there's like 2 songs, and then there's like, I should have done them. I know. You know what I mean? Yeah. You can't go back and like, okay, I'm taking these off and releasing them again. Cause you're like, what? Did you try to release this? I know. So you're doing it well that way. It's hard because, like you said, what do you do with it? Yeah. So where did you record your first single?
It was recorded actually here in Sterling. Dustin Bird. He's a local guy, and he's an amazing musician, singer, songwriter, producer. Yeah. So he wrote the song. We went back and forth last fall, trying to either come up with material, or he kind of wanted to know what I was looking to record, etc. So I'd sent him some influences, some songs I liked, some of my own stuff, and then he came back, he's like, hey, I got this in my catalog, what do you think? So I listened to it, I'm like, oh, I like that. So we went back and forth and sent clips and whatnot, and then last January I went to his studio and recorded the thing, and he did the all of the backing music and produced it and all of that.
Was he on Everett Street on Sterling?
No, he's out.
So I know I heard of a recording studio on Everett Street at one point.
No, it's in the country, like cool. Just past 62.
Okay, right on.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard of Dustin. I think he won like Rising Star, Country Stars, or once a couple years ago.
He was in. Yep, he's done like a bunch of different things
awesome.
Like that.
Cool. Yeah. Very neat. That's cool. So you're getting obviously to work with some pretty amazing artists too, then, eh? Yeah,
it's been pretty cool. So two songs that I've co-written 2 songs with a guy named Aaron Allen, who is last year he won the CMAO Rising Star Award, and this year he's up for Artist of the Year. I think he's up for 3 actually awards, and he's an incredible songwriter. So I was thrilled when he said that he'd do a co-write with me. So we did a Zoom call kind of thing, or Facebook Messenger, and it was pretty cool. Like we hammered out a song, and it went really, really well. So I'm actually in the process of getting that recorded right now. So, and again, that's all being done kind of remotely. So I'm really hoping that it works out. We're hoping that we're going to have something that we can release on Spotify and Apple Music and that kind of stuff. I'm working with an amazing producer out of the East Coast. So hopefully that will work. Like I said, it's just kind of like experimental, right?
Because and everything's on hold kind
of. Exactly, right. So we've kind of bought some equipment, rented some equipment, and Paul's learning some of the software, and then we're literally just sending things back and forth. So hopefully that'll be something soon.
It's pretty interesting how the technology today, we can do that, because I interviewed Ben Thompson, and he's working with Pat McTaggart, and these two have never met each other.
Exactly.
And they've made all these amazing songs together, and they just like, one makes this and they send it, what do you think of that, and it's all back digital files and Google Dropbox, and it's like I'm just learning about all this now, and it's like, it's so cool. You know, it's really amazing what we can do, and really, we're adapting, and this almost makes us, we can, like I said, shoot for bigger expectations, you know?
Absolutely.
But you should take a little bit of that and know, like, you got something amazing. You said you're shy. Don't be shy with this, because you like got all these people believing in you and ready to work with you, willing to work with you. So that should be a little bit of a indicator that you're doing something right, eh?
Thank you. It is. It is. It is. And that's what Paul tells me almost on a daily basis.
That's right.
And same with Mika. Like, he'll send me little like emails, and he's like, "You got this. Like, you got to believe in yourself."
That's
and,
right.
And yeah, I just it's a struggle, but I'm working on it.
I always say we're our own worst enemies, because really, Paul can't hold you back. You not doing it holds you back.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, sure, Paul can be like, don't do that, but you're like, I can do that because I'm a human being, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, only I know this because I battle myself. You know what I mean? Like, you just gotta just keep believing and just keep rocking it.
Yeah.
It's really cool. So, I should talk to Paul too about this, but my friend, Shook Planet, the beginning of COVID, well, not beginning of COVID, in the middle of COVID there, he's part of SoCan. So are you part of SoCan yet?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so with your live streams, have you looked into that?
No, maybe Paul has.
Okay, so the way it worked for him was, I don't know if it's not on right now, but there was this thing where I think they were doing quarters, but for 66 days, he live streamed once a night, and if you got 1,000 views on one video, you get $150 for it.
Really?
He made 10 grand.
Really?
In 66 days. He did it.
Really?
It's amazing.
Wow.
From streaming. I was like, are you kidding me?
For 1 hour, you said?
For 1 hour.
1 hour. And, but all original material for
I don't
1
think it
hour?
has to be all. Actually, maybe it's a half hour, something like that. You have to play for like half hour or 8 songs. Look into it. But it was really neat, because I'm like, when I heard this, I'm like, holy moly, like, this is what I'm saying with this COVID, you have to learn how to adapt, because we can't go and make money this way.
Well, and that's it. And the sad thing with music is it costs so much money, and it's not. I mean, people do it for the passion, obviously, because
for the love, it's right there.
There you go. Exactly.
For the love, you know.
No, that's it. But to make a single, it's so expensive, and especially right now when you can't go out. So we're funding from our I'm fortunate enough, both Paul and I have full-time jobs, so we can dig into our own savings to do this kind of stuff, because right now there's no paying gigs, and for I don't think for a long time there's going to be high paying gigs, because the businesses are they're hurting.
Exactly. So, and not only that, you want to help them out, so let's not make them pay. So let's try to get some people back in the seats, right?
And that's what so that's what I did before, when we were kind of opening things back up. I would say, you know what, I'll do it for free. I'll pay for tips. Doesn't cost you any money. And then if people have extra and they want to throw it in the tip bucket, then great, because I felt like the businesses needed people there, obviously, more so than them having to.
Well, it was so weird too at the beginning. They were saying like no singing or dancing.
Yes.
Like, what is this, Footloose?
I know. It really was. It really was.
Hey, come on.
It was crazy. And then it just it's changed so much, right? Because now you go and you're behind a glass bubble. And it's just I mean, we have to do what we have to do right now, but it's so
adapt to the times.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
I know I've been doing all these like ones on Zoom. I'm learning it, and we cut in and out, but people are getting it, and people are appreciating it, and like we're just doing this for somebody like to watch. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
Because there isn't much to go and do right now, so if you can spend an hour on YouTube watching a local artist, then there it is, right?
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Where does it go when it all goes wrong? Is there anything left, or am I just holding on to a memory you and I thought we could be? Is there a chance we can get it back? Some things are worth saving. I don't wanna let it go. Without you I wouldn't know. Some things are worth saving, not just for a rainy day, when you need a trip down memory lane. Some things are worth saving. I used to think Some things are worth saving. I don't wanna let it go. Without you, I wouldn't know. Some things are worth saving, not just for a rainy day when you need a trip down memory lane. Some things are worth saving, and I don't wanna let it go. Without you, I wouldn't know. Some things are worth saving, not just for a rainy day when you need a trip down memory lane. Yeah, some things are worth saving. Oh, some things are worth saving, like you and I think we're worth saving. Yeah, absolutely.
So with all your music you've been doing there, I know you can go back on your Facebook and like, so do you have a public figure or somewhere somebody could find you on Facebook to go watch all your music? Or
Yeah, so I have, it's I'm Deborah Lynn.
Yeah.
That's my Facebook music page.
Yeah.
So all the live streams that I do, they're all posted on there. And then I've got a YouTube page as well, and that's Deborah Lynn as well. And then I've got deboralynn.ca website with some content on it, and shows when we have shows.
Dates coming up.
Yeah, and Instagram, all of the Instagram, Twitter, all that kind of stuff. I go by Deborah Lynn.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So you're on all those platforms then.
All
So
of
we're gonna get people to go find her on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. With I guess that's,
YouTube. Yeah.
YouTube. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just getting new to all this stuff too. I've always been so so stuck in my ways. If I say something, I'm gonna stick to it. So if I say I'm like, so when hashtags first started coming out, I was like, this is stupid. When's this gonna go away? And literally, I did my first hashtag the other day because my kids made me get on TikTok. They're like, Dad, you're old.
Yes.
You're old.
I know.
You're a Facebook guy. And I'm like, well, that's where all my friends are. Like, if you want views on your stuff, maybe go on TikTok, and then you got to hashtag it. So I just take like a clip of my episode. I'll take a clip of this episode, and it'll be like a 1-minute thing on TikTok, and it's actually amazing how many views these stupid things are getting.
It's crazy, eh? That's one that I've not been able to wrap my head around.
Well, you got to give your kid to do it.
Yes, exactly. Paul or Octavia, they're going to have to
like,
work
crazy.
that out because, yeah, exactly. But I have heard it's insane.
So, like, my daughter's trying to explain to me, well, you hashtag something. Like, say if somebody says, like, they look up Sterling.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to hashtag this as Sterling, and you're just going to be underneath there.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize, but anyways, so...
Yeah. I know.
People are going to laugh at me because they know me, and I'm always like, hashtag stupid. Now I hashtag.
Yeah. Now you're hashtagging.
I'm trying not to be so old. Like, Dad, you're so old. I'm like, well, that's the way we are.
That's right.
It's really cool. Okay, so like, obviously you're into country. Who's your biggest influence? Like at the moment, like who are you inspired by?
Right now, that would be Ashley McBride. She's just kind of everything that I want to be. She's cool. She's herself. She's true to herself. Like she doesn't conform to like mainstream. Like she doesn't have to look perfect, etc. You know what I mean? Like she's just real. She's real and she's raw and she's emotional and she's my absolute favorite right now. I love Miranda Lambert and all of those kind of those powerful kind of country.
Powerhouse.
Exactly. But Ashley McBride would be my absolute favorite. And then I grew up listening to older country like the Waylon Jennings and Johnny Cash and Willie Nelson, all those kind of stuff. That's what my mom and dad listened to, Conway Twitty and all that kind of stuff. So what I like about Ashley McBride is she's modern, but she's got that like old school country kind of feel to it as well. So it's kind of like a little mixture of everything. But when I do my live streams and just playlists in general, my genres are like, so I'm kind of like, I'm primarily country, but I do kind of everything. Like I do folk and I do rock and pop and, everything from like Pat Benatar to Bare Naked Ladies to, like it's just Cranberries and just kind of everything, just because I love music.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So I can't kind of pinpoint one,
No, it's
you
good.
know,
Yeah.
I love it all. So, and that's what's been pretty cool about the live streams in particular, or a live show, especially one of like the more upbeat ones, is that there's usually something for everybody, right?
Exactly.
So if you're not a fan of country music, that's okay, because I got you covered.
Just wait a song.
Yeah, exactly.
I got you.
Exactly.
That's
So
cool.
so it's cool, and with the live streams, the different requests that come in are it's been awesome. I've been able to kind of expand my playlist of songs that, like, oh, that is a great song. I never really thought about doing that, but let me work on it and get back to
So
you.
here's a strange question I've been starting to ask people. What is like the very first song you can remember?
Oh my gosh.
I know, because like me, so when I grew up, I was like into rap, into rock, and all this stuff. And now that I'm older, I'm going back to these songs that my dad played, and I was like, I hate this. So like, were you kind of the same way? Like when you're a teenager, like you kind of said you're into Jewel and stuff like that, but can you not like, do you feel like, you know what I'm saying there? Like you can't help it. Because it's almost like burned into your head as a kid, right? Like, it's funny. I never thought I'd be playing this jug band music, and here I am, so in love with it.
In love with it.
In love with it. It's in my blood. You know what I mean?
Yep. And you know what? That would be probably country music for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Growing up, you know, my mom would listen to CJBQ in the car, and some of the songs I'd be like, oh, are we listening to this song? Like The Dog Ran Away or da da da. And now I love it. Yeah. Right. But yeah, like Last Kiss, which was Del Shannon, I believe, was the original composer or artist, but Pearl Jam did it back in my high school days, kind of thing. But I remember, so when it came out in high school,
you knew the words.
And I'm also like, what is this? What are they doing to the song? I felt like I was way too old at that time to be like, they're ruining the song, because I grew up listening to, and that was probably actually one of, if not the first song that I learned on guitar and sang, was Last Kiss. But not the Pearl Jam one. That's
very cool.
So that's
awesome.
Cool.
So have you had any really cool, like, have you had cool experiences traveling or something like that? Have you ever been anywhere with your songs? I think I've heard. Yeah.
So I got to play the first song I ever wrote on the stage of the Bluebird Cafe in Nashville, which was like so incredibly cool. It was an open mic night, but it had to be an original song. They wouldn't let in covers or anything like that, and it's like it's very obviously a coveted place to get into. So with their open mics, you call ahead, and if you get in, you get in, and if you don't, you don't, kind of thing. Well, there was a group of us there, and we had a few of us on the phone, and our friend's like, it's ringing. He throws the phone to me. I'm like, oh. And so so that night we went to the Bluebird, and I got to sing on that stage, the twinkle lights behind me and the Bluebird. Like, it was just, I can't even tell you. It was just such an incredible experience, and to just be in, it's a listening room, and it really, you know, could hear a pin drop kind of thing. It was just so cool. So that was pretty cool. And then that same trip, I think it was the next night, I ended up on the stage at Tootsie's. And I did Jolene with their house band.
Nice.
Which was super cool. And then I went to walk off, and they're like, hang on, wait, do you want to do another? I'm like, sure. Okay. So we did Hit Me With Your Best Shot. Cool. And it was the coolest thing. So that was, so that was wild. And I can't.
So you guys just go on vacation, and you're like, went to Nashville, and you're like, let's just bring the guitar just in case, kind of thing.
I my goal was to play at the Bluebird Cafe, and I didn't know if it was going to happen or not.
Well, the thing is if you put it in the universe that you want it bad enough, it's going to happen. Yeah, you know,
it's true.
The universe listens to us.
That's right.
And if you say I'm not going to play, that's all it's hearing. Yes. If you say you're gonna. Yeah. You know. That's just the way this world is. This world's like a movie, you know what I mean? And we're making it. So what's the next chapter, right?
That's right. Exactly. Cool. You got to write it yourself.
That's right. You got to put your neck out there. And like you said, it's hard to do that. But like I book all these shows and I do all this stuff, and it's so nerve-wracking to even message some people, because, like, to tell you the truth, my brother is much more, I don't want to say, he's much more proper than me. So when I write stuff, I'll write out like a proposal to you.
Yeah.
Like, hey, do you mind if I come play your show? Blah, 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 blah. I'll send it to him first.
Yeah.
He'll grammar check it, make
Right.
it sound right. And then I'll sign off. Because there's nothing worse than sending something off and the guy's like, this guy can't even write a damn friggin' proposal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's all so hard to do.
Yeah.
Like
Absolutely.
put your neck out trying to get all these shows like fairs and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But you got an amazing team behind you, like I said. So that's really cool because it does take more than one person to run this kind of stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
That's really cool.
Yeah, no, and that's we always say we are a good team because we say that each other has the hard job.
Yep.
So I think that makes us appreciate. You know, he'll say, "Oh, you got the hard job." He always jokes that he carries the beer, drinks the beer and carries the gear.
That's right.
But I just say I literally just have to show up and sing.
Yeah.
He does all of
because you carry my
the
gear
other, yeah, exactly.
and bring me my beer.
I might have to drive, but I can sing. Just show up and.
No, it's
and
a
sing
great
and play.
it's a great family thing you guys are doing too because like you can tell he loves it and he's so proud of you. Like it's like, but it's fun also too. You know, some people race cars, some people. Go fishing. I know you guys fish lots and stuff like, but you know what I mean. Like this is this is what we put our money into. Like
That's right.
it's like you said, like it's these damn instruments and like
exactly. And our biggest thing is to show our daughter that no matter what you are afraid of, you just gotta do it. If you want it bad enough, you just gotta put yourself out there. And she's seen me go through a lot in the last over the last 10 years, but really push myself over the last couple of years. She's seen me freak out before certain shows or competitions or whatever, but pull myself together and power through it. And you know, when she has tough days in school or just with this whole COVID thing, it's so difficult for our children. And she's an only child, so it's been a very lonely year. You know, she just knows, she kind of sees, you know, you just got to power through and you know, hard work will get you kind of what you want. And so that's I kind of when I personally get, you know, scared, I think of her and go,
that's
okay,
right. I have to prove it for her.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of what pushes me.
I said the same thing. If I wasn't for me having my kids so young, like I honestly wouldn't be who I am.
Yeah, that's
you know,
right.
like I really, because I have to be this person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I have to be the man I want my daughter to marry one day.
Exactly.
So I have to be proper. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like we've all went through our shit, and the thing is I can write songs and teach you what to believe in, right? So it's really good. You guys are doing an awesome job. It's really cool.
Don't waste your life behind that guitar. You may get gone, but you won't get far. You're not the first, you won't be the last. You can tell us all about it, and you come crawling back that road you're on. Swines and wines, you're spinning your wheels, wasting your time. And the lights come on, I hear the band, and where they said I'd never be is exactly where I am. I hear the crowd, and I look around, I can't find one empty chair. Not bad for a girl going nowhere. I get these calls out on the road. I heard your song on my radio. They always said you'd make it big. I tell all my friends I knew you back when, so don't forget all us little folks when you crash and burn. Remember we told you so. And the lights come up, I hear the band, and where they said I'd never be is exactly where I am. I hear the crowd, and I look around, I can't find one empty chair. Not bad for a girl going nowhere. all those folks who swore I'd never be anything. Took a whole lot of yes I wills and I don't care. Whole lot of basement hours and county fairs. To this shore right now, y'all sure look good out there. Not bad for a girl going nowhere. Not bad for a girl going nowhere.
Alrighty, so let's take a look at your instrument here. So what do you got here? Go ahead and tell me.
This is a seagull. It's an artist, a studio artist. I always get this wrong. Yeah, artist studio, deluxe element. And it was an anniversary gift last year for our 5th year wedding anniversary. And I didn't know that we were getting gifts because it was COVID, and I just figured, you know.
Yeah.
And then Paul came home with this for me,
That's
which is
amazing.
just beautiful. So it's I love it so much. It's got a great sound to it. Before this, I still have, but I've got a Yamaha, like a thinner body one.
Yeah.
I had shoulder problems and I had a surgery a few years ago, so I needed, like, I was finding
A light one.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, because I also have a Takamine, which was, it's actually fuller body than this, and I couldn't get my shoulder around it. So then Paul bought me the thinner body one. But the problem with those is they just don't have like the sound,
the body,
exactly,
the growl in it.
Yeah, exactly. So so this is my new favorite right now.
It's beautiful. I love the inlay on it at the top and the little seagull in it.
I know, isn't it? It's so cute.
So I don't know too much about it, but like I think seagulls made in Canada, correct?
They are, yes.
Yeah.
They're completely Canadian made. Golden, I believe, is the
Yes.
Yeah, and so that's cool in itself.
That's so cool.
Have like a and that they're just such a good quality guitar, and they are compare to like a Martin.
Yeah,
I think,
exactly.
for half of the price,
Right.
which
That's
is
so cool.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it comes with the pickup in and all that good stuff?
No, so it doesn't. But we got one. It's an aftermarket
installed.
pickup in it. Exactly. And apparently, like a lot of guitars don't come. Like I always would go for one that had one.
The higher end guitars never really do, and you have to get them in.
I know, and that's what Paul was saying. And I'm like, no, but I want one with.
And then you got to drill the back of it and da-da-da-da. So everybody's always afraid to do it. So it's funny. My brother did the same thing. Got a brand new Martin, and I was like, man, you got this Martin and it doesn't have a pickup in it.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? So now he's got the bridge one that goes in there.
Yes. Dean Markley one.
Yeah. But it's just same thing. He had to drill the back of it, and he's like, I could do this, you could do this, but I'm going to give it to somebody else to do this, because it's just like, I just paid how much?
Nerve-wracking.
Drill through it.
Exactly.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I love it. It's a great sounding guitar, and a really beautiful looking guitar too.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Cool. So I noticed that you capo a few times. Do you usually just play in standard tuning, or do you like other tunings?
Oh no. I really sadly I don't know. For as much as like music has been like in my life my whole life, and I used to play guitar, play piano and such, I really don't know anything when it comes to scales and chords and all that kind of stuff. And so yes, standard all the way, and then I just capo to where I feel my voice works.
Exactly.
So that's
really
it just kind of I wing it. I really should take some lessons and kind of fine tune that, but I don't know, I feel like it's got me this far, and
I feel you. And like, sometimes you always feel like I've played for this long and this is what's got me here, so if I start trying to add something to it, will it ever mess it up what I'm doing? But
yes,
it's always fun because you can always teach, and they always say you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but you can. Really you can, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's funny, my brother just got a violin, and he went to 2 teachers, and the one guy was like, no, your hands are too big. The other guy's like, no, you're too old. My brother's like, what the hell?
Seriously.
He plays mandolin, so he's like, this is from here to here, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So he just started on himself, like, and with some DVDs, and then same thing. We know this one fiddler, Teilhard Frost, and he wants to fiddle like him. He's got this old time, so he's Zoom meeting doing lessons, just like you are with your vocal lessons. So it's here we are again with this world, right?
Exactly.
That's so cool.
And it opens it up to like a whole new area, in the sense that like geographically.
You can work with somebody you never thought you would.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and you can, so that's been
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So you got a couple shows maybe booked here? You're saying?
Well, we'll see. I've got July 9th at the Keene Center for the Performing Arts. Now, right now, it's up in the air if it's going to be at the Roseneath Fairgrounds, or they're talking possibly Springbank Cottages on Rice Lake.
Okay.
But it's going to be in an outdoor setting.
Yeah, that's the nice thing with summer.
Exactly.
Some shows going again, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, so the venue is to be determined, but as long as everything goes as per openings, etc., that should be July 9th.
Yeah.
And then I've got July 24th. I'm part of the 10th anniversary for Soundcheck Entertainment anniversary weekend, which is super cool. I'm super excited about that. That's at Happy Green Acres in Brockville.
Yeah.
So I'm playing on the Friday, and they've got like an all female Friday, which will be super cool. And then the next day they've got some great guys coming in for the Saturday, so that'll be fun.
Very cool.
Yeah, and then September
1st down in Frankfurt.
Yeah.
And like I gotta say, guys, gotta watch out for that show, because right after that it may go into lockdown, because the Sterling Jaybirds, every time we play, it goes into lockdown the next day.
Oh gosh.
It's terrible.
If we could get through the summer.
That's
then
right.
Least, right?
It's got to clear up now that everybody's getting their shots and all this stuff. And like you said with your allergies this year, man, there's been so much pollen floating around, and I'm feeling it too. Yeah. But if you notice, I don't know about you, I haven't had a cold in a year and a half.
I know.
Oh yeah. But exactly. It's crazy because people are washing their hands, putting masks on, and washing door hands. It actually shows that the flu that we get normally doesn't need to be around, really, right?
Exactly.
So that's another thing that's crazy.
People will continue with all of that protocol. I mean, obviously it'd be nice to drop the masks at some point, but
that's right.
But the whole hand washing and all that kind of stuff, if we can keep it up.
Keep it up. That's right. Use hand sanitizer, and that's good.
Right.
Very cool. So with your first single, where could people find that right now?
It's on Apple Music and Spotify, basically anywhere that you buy or download your music.
Did you go through DistroKid also, or a lot of us are using DistroKid right now, and it gives it like 99 platforms.
Oh,
yeah, it's pretty.
Know.
Yeah, so it's
I have to ask Paul.
Yeah, so
to be honest.
Yeah, so it's like on Amazon Music and all that stuff.
Oh yes, it's on all of those things.
Yeah, I think
too.
you're using
Amazon
the right. You got it. You're using the right stuff.
Yeah.
You're like, ask the manager.
Ask the manager. Yeah, that's a manager question.
Cool. Well, is there anything else you want to promote, or anything that you can think about?
I think that we've covered everything.
Awesome.
And I really appreciate this opportunity.
No, I really appreciate you sitting down with me and meeting a new friend. And honestly, you guys are doing some amazing stuff, and I want you to keep it up. And you're inspiring everybody. Like you are. Like it makes me want to do some live streaming or whatever. And
totally should.
You guys should look into that SoCan thing and maybe try and get paid for some of your stuff, because like you said, you're at 100,000 views, and times 1,000. Man, you can be making a couple dollars off it.
That's right.
And I didn't believe it. And then you're like, no, man, look, dude, it worked. You know what I mean? I'm like, wow, good for you.
Yeah.
That's just it with this day and age. I've said it too many times, but we got to learn how to adapt to it.
That's right.
Really.
Exactly.
So what's going on with it?
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, that's another episode of What's Happening. I want to thank Deb so much, and look out for her. Go find her on all your social media platforms. Go find her. Go buy her song off of iTunes, and support our local music, everybody.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks. That's what's happening, guys.
I was hopelessly falling from the moment you walked in, like an answer I didn't know I was looking for. We built all we ever wanted. Falling apart wasn't an option, till all we ever wanted wasn't strong enough anymore. We were on fire, now we're nothing but smoke. Felt so alive, now we're 6 feet below. The love
All right, there you go. Episode 25 of What's Happened in 613 with Deborah Lynn O'Connor. I want to thank her so much for doing this episode with me. Thank you for having me out to your property. Such great music. Keep up the great work. I love the family behind you. Such a great support system you got going there. And so go find her on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, all that good stuff. I want to thank the Hot Sauce Co. They're down in Foxborough Foodland. They're at the Country Butcher down in Foxborough. They're at Bibbs Meat. Whole bunch of other stores around Belleville now, so go find them. They're amazing hot sauce. And I want to also thank Riley Andrews for the skateboard thing there. He's doing lessons, so if you have a kid or yourself who wants to get into the skateboarding, it's a great outdoor activity, and he's doing really, really, really great things in the community. He's got some skateboards for sale, so hit him up on Facebook, text him, whatever you need to do. That's what's happening with 613 right now. Got Hailing the Pirate Queens coming up next, and a whole bunch of other cool stuff. So keep subscribing, keep liking, keep sharing. Thank you everybody who's doing what you're doing out there for me, and that's what's happening, guys.